You tell everybody
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole story, what you did,
Yeah.
and why you can't go back to Japan.
No, I could go back. I just can't get out.
You can't get out once you go back.
I would imagine so.
There's probably like a
Why is that?
There's probably like a criminal record.
Yeah.
It's a little different because
Tell everybody what happened. I mean, this is an interesting
This
story.
is the best story ever.
That's the only reason why I brought this up is because I know you're pretty adamant about expressing yourself all the time about this. So, tell us your story.
So I got an email in August 2003 from my cousin. Basically, my writing skill in Japanese is not good, so he wrote in English. He basically wrote "Papa dead," and I called him and find out my dad supposedly killed himself. So within a couple of days, I flew back to Japan and find out what happened because I saw him 6 months before, early 2003. I found out that my stepmother was cheating on my dad before marriage, during marriage, and they're in process getting divorced. But my dad killed himself. Later on, we don't know for sure he committed suicide, or my stepmother have something to do with his death. We don't know. But during the funeral, I saw my stepmother.
She killed him, dude.
You think she killed him?
I think so.
Why do you think that?
The more I hear this story, she sounds like the most.
My cousin's older brother in Korea. She was living in Korea. My stepmother. So my cousin's older brother lives in Korea. Their version FBI. They checked the background, and my stepmother flew in the day before the last time they saw my dad alive. Doesn't mean that he killed her, but she lied.
She killed him.
Yeah, she said that she was in Japan the whole time, and we find out later on.
So she lied.
She lied about that.
Well, she lied about that. That kind of guilt, lying about where you were.
Yeah.
That's very suspicious.
Yeah.
So doesn't mean she
How
did
did he
it.
die? How did he die?
Hanging. So I went to police station and saw the picture, and he was in the hot sun for like 2 weeks. So he was dark. I mean, he looked like
He's hanging outside.
inside, but the summertime in Japan is so hot and humid. Decomposed.
But basically, he had been hanging and he turned black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was hanging, and basically the heat of the house just
Yeah.
slowly cooked him.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the picture. The cop told me, I highly recommend you don't look at the picture, but I needed to see, because after his death, my family told me that all the horrible things that were happening.
So do you think that she could have possibly driven him to do that?
That for sure, 100%, yeah. She left hundreds of thousands of dead. And she told my dad that she brought one of her cousins from Korea. We later on find out it was her lover the whole time. So while my dad was working, she was fucking this guy, pretending to be her cousin, whatever. Just the whole humiliation, debt, and all this stuff. And like,
Was she younger?
10 years younger, but
This is
Are you
what I
sure she
tell
wasn't just
everybody.
fucking her cousin?
This is why a guy like David should be afraid of marriage, okay? Never, ever,
Yeah.
never fuck someone where you're confused as to why they're fucking you. So what happened?
so I went back to the funeral, and somehow she didn't know my temperament because my dad's a very kind and nice person. He's never hit me before, but I have temperament from my mother. She was typical Korean woman, very aggressive, So I caught her at the funeral by herself, preparing the funeral thing for my dad, right?
It was like way up a hill.
Yeah, way up in the hill. Rest of the family was down the hill in parking lot. They didn't know what's going on. So basically, I went up there with my aunt, and my aunt saw my stepmother, and she goes, "You killed my fucking brother, you fucking bitch." She leaves. It was me and her.
And everyone knows at this point that she was cheating on him the whole time.
Oh yeah, everybody knows. She did all this. She even tried to poison my dad. So next thing you know,
she tried to poison
yeah,
him?
they took the
In
sample.
what way?
Yeah, those Korean dish kimchi or whatever she brought
Yeah.
from Korea. My dad kept getting sick, so they took all the food from the refrigerator at some medical lab. They checked, and there was poison in the dish. that
All
she
right, so your
brought.
stepmom is poisoning his kimchi and
Cheating on him.
and cheating on him, and the whole family knows, and she has the fucking balls to go to the funeral.
Yeah,
Like-
she was playing this thing. She didn't know anything about me, and her older sister have a reputation of marrying a bunch of guys, and they all die in a mysterious circumstance.
Oh,
So they have
my
a history of
God.
it.
They have a history of that.
Her and
Her
her.
older sister does the same
Yeah.
fucking thing?
This sounds like it's crazy. It's fucking insane.
So my aunt said, "You fucking bitch, you killed my brother." She left.
Sounds.
And then 10 seconds later, I just started running over and just beating the shit out of her. And
Whoa.
I grabbed back of her head and started punching her face for a long time and put her in
She's
the...
unconscious?
No, but she was shocked because she didn't know I had it in me to do that. And I was a little surprised because I didn't plan to do that. I was angry, But I didn't think she was dumb enough to be separated by the rest of her family. But she was her herself.
Gosh, so she was by herself. You were by herself. No one's anywhere near the two.
No
of you.
one near, and then grab her back of her head and just start beating her face in.
Curb stomp.
And put on her ground and then start stomping between her legs.
Her like eyeball
You
was about
stomped her pussy?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Stomach. Then
her face, her eyeball was about to come out.
I was stomping her face like after 5 or 6 times. I heard some lady that worked at the cemetery scream. That's when I kind of
they saw this
got out
guy
of
just
it.
stomping on this lady and started screaming.
So how much damage did you do to her?
I think if I did it, like my cousin called me like a week later, and he was actually he was laughing on the phone like, yeah, if you did it for another man, you probably killed her or whatever. She ended up going to hospital for like 2.5, 3 months. And my stepmother's nephew was walking up the stairs. He didn't know what's going
Right.
on. So I start coming down, and he doesn't know what's going on. So I figured by then I already beat one person. What difference does it make if I assault
This guy
a couple
goes.
more people?
This funeral was how long after Japan?
Uh,
Like when you got off the plane and went straight to the funeral, right?
a day after, yeah.
So this guy gets to Japan, goes to a funeral, and then just starts punching people, and then like
So you attacked him as well? For what reason? Just because you
Because
had already-
I
he
feel
related to her.
related to her,
Related to
and
her?
like, what difference does it make if I
Fuck everybody at this point.
Yeah, it's like porn stars. Like, what difference does it make if you fuck one hooker or 500? Once you do one,
It's really interesting that you're using attempted murder and connecting
Yeah.
it to gangbang.
yeah, well,
Oh, Yoshi kills hookers all the time.
no, stop it.
Hey, he kills him with his AIDS.
boy.
So,
The edible AIDS or attaboy?
That a boy.
so I went down the stairs. I saw him. I sucker punched him. He doesn't know what's going on.
Oh my god.
And there was a little.
Do you feel bad for that?
No, not at all.
Well, you know, I mean, maybe they don't know what the fuck the
Yeah.
sister and her did.
But at the time, I wasn't really rational. I was just so
Right, I
angry.
understand,
Yeah.
I understand.
So I sucker punched him. He went down. And most of these, I'm 6'1". Most of these people are like 5'1", 5'2".
Right.
So even though I'm not a physically imposing in America, I'm pretty big in Japan.
You're
you
kicking
know?
ass in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Anderson Silva when it comes to fighting and beating up old women. But so
How old was she when you did this to her?
55 or something.
Whoa! Holy shit!
She killed his dad, man.
Oh, I understand. Listen, there's no.
I mean, I lost my fucking mind.
So he knocks
Yeah.
he knocks the nephew out.
I got this little.
That is not something to joke about, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You're right. If you're outraged listening to this, you're like, I can't believe you joked.
I got that little mallet where Buddhists scoop the water
Uh-huh.
to clean the cemetery. I grabbed that stuff, just beat him over the head a couple of times, ran down the parking lot, and I saw my stepmother's older sister and her husband, and then I started sucker punch him too.
He's punching everybody.
Yeah, I punched both.
How's
of
your
them.
endurance at this point? Are you getting winded?
Yeah, I wish I would have stretched before that, but I didn't plan. I wasn't planning to sell 4 people, Joe. I don't know anything about martial art. I don't know any of that stuff.
Okay,
but
so you-
It was unplanned. It
You
was
beat all these people up. How do you get out of the country? That's
Then-
like serious,
so my
serious shit.
my aunt Yoshi, she's the one that interrupted the fight, started punching him, and just told me to leave. And I told my cousin to drive me out of there, and he wasn't sure because he wanna.
So you punched him
He-
too.
No. I didn't. I think he hesitated because he doesn't want to aid somebody who did criminal act.
right.
But he's smaller than I am, so if you don't think I'm going to beat the shit out of it, well, we got in his car and he started driving me out of there, and I went to Osaka International.
He just got to Japan.
Yeah, like a
And
day
he-
before.
And then he went and beat everyone up, and then he's hiding
And you
in the
got right to the airport.
I grabbed his cell phone and called the airlines, changed my flight. I'm praying there's another flight within a few
Right.
hours, and there just happened to be one in 4 hours. So I went over there, but that was the longest 4 hours at the airport because I figured she'll call the police.
You
and
just hid in the bathroom.
So what happened? How'd they not call the police?
It never even occurred to them because they were so worried about her. They went to hospital with her.
They probably
Right.
didn't know where you went.
They figure
Right.
out, they figure I was hiding one of my cousin's house.
Do you think that they knew that she was guilty too?
Oh, everybody knows they were guilty.
How did you
she was
find out?
guilty.
It was your aunt that told you, right?
Yeah.
It was
She
her.
tried to poison him, huh?
Yeah.
Your aunt told you? What did she say?
She
My
said-
they
she
have a
said he's
medical
been fucking
record.
someone this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean she tried to kill him.
Oh.
You know she tried to kill him because of the poisoning, though. That's pretty definitive.
Yeah. And they did a medical lab. I don't know how they figure out poison, but they took it to lab.
So you escaped Japan.
Yeah. And
Are there criminal charges pressed against you?
here's
or-
a weird thing. Mostly cops in Japan don't want to be part of like family dispute. Technically, she's still my family. So whenever there's a family dispute, they rather there's
Even a fucking head stomping?
well, generally speaking, but I don't want to go back to Japan and find out. So remember, you and I think Joey Diaz asked me like to go with you and translate. I would love to do it, But I was a little worried. Maybe as soon as I land, there's a record of it and put me in jail.